Hello guys, welcome to another JavaScript beginner project. Today we'll be creating an event dictionary using RapidApi dictionary API. What we'll be able to achieve with this application is that you're gonna be able to search for a word, and then we're gonna be able to extract the meaning of that word, and also we give you an example. So it's a event dictionary using the RapidApi event dictionary. Without further ado, let's just get into the code. We're gonna start off with the HTML file. I already have some preloaded data here, just not to waste time. We have the heading, we have some paragraph text just to hint the user on what to do, and obviously we'll have the input where the user will search for the word, will type the word that they want to search for, and then the button. Then we have a div here, and then we have an h2, which will be the word display. The word that the user will type in the search box will be displayed in this h2. As you see, there's no value, we're just gonna search the value in the JavaScript. And then we have two smaller divs inside. This will be containing the meaning, and then this will be the header. There's also no value here. We'll also set this in the JavaScript. This will be just the value of meaning, and then here there will be the text, whatever that word is. For example, if it's food, and then here there's gonna be the definition of food. Here this is gonna be the example of the word food. Then it's the same logic for these two smaller divs. And then when we come to the JavaScript, I've already selected all the elements that we're gonna be using here. So these are the elements we're gonna be using: the input, button, word display, and for these ones we'll just be setting the value for them. This is just to avoid us clearing out or having a for loop to loop through and clear every time the user searches. So we're just gonna use this h3 and p text just to override every time the user click search, and then we just override the value of whatever that is in there to the current word that is being searched. With that being said, now we will need the RapidApi. Let us go over to RapidApi to understand how the API works. The first thing you have to do, you'll have to sign up or you have to log in if you already have an account. As you can see here, there are categories, there are more things, more APIs you can search for, more things to play around. But we already know what we're looking for. We're looking for a dictionary. In our case, it's event dictionary. Then there it is. And then you're gonna be able to see a code snippet here, and then depending on the language, in our case we're using JavaScript, and I'll want to use the fetch API. So they already wrote the API for us, and they already they gave us the key, they gave us the host, and all the entire code is here. All you need to do at this point is just to copy this code like it is, or you can just take the URL here, and then you can write your own code if you like. And you can also test the endpoint here, and then you can put since it's a dictionary, you can change the word here, and then you can be able to retrieve whatever that you need to do. And then I might just head over to Visual Studio Code, and then we can explain this code snippet further. Okay, I will just paste this code here like it is, and then let's just look at it. So the fetch API has an overload method where you can be able to put data that is required by the API. In our case, we're using a RapidApi, and it needs a RapidApi key. For you to be able to get your own key, you need to sign up, and then you're gonna have to search for the dictionary like I did, and then you're gonna be sorted. So this is our fetch API, and then we have these options, which is the data needed by the API. So this is the key, and then we have the host, and also we have the type of method. It's a get. We are getting definitions for a term that is being searched, and then after we have this thing, then this is returned as a promise, and then we resolve that promise as we change whatever response that we have into a JSON, and then we take that data, and then this is logged into the console, or if there's an error, we catch that error. But now let us see this in action, and I'm gonna go over here, and then we go to the dictionary, and as usual you're just gonna inspect here. Let's just bring this to the side and see it side to side. Okay, we can see that on the console when this is ran, we can see that it returns a list, and then in this list we have 10 elements, meaning we have 10 different definitions. And then you can see here we have 0 up until 9. If we go inside one, you can see we have this is the word that was searched, which is what, as I showed you on there. If you look at my left hand side, you can see the term is equals to what. So this API also takes the string that is being searched. So you can see the word is what, and then this is the definition, there's the example, there's also some other stuff, permalink, thumbs up, likes and dislikes here. What we will need to go to the first element in the list, and then we're gonna take the first element and we take the definition of it and the example of it. But all of this will be done when the user clicks search. Hence we're gonna put an event listener in this button here. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna head over to Visual Studio Code, and then we add an event listener to the button. We only have one button, so it's on the button, and we're listening for a click, and then we put our callback function. The first thing we need to have when we are clicking, we need to have the value that is inputted here in the input element. So this is our input. We already query selected that, and then all we're gonna do is give this a variable of word, and then we go to the input and we take the value that is inside. That's supposed to be value, and then we have the value. After having the value, as we see this fetch API, it takes the word here, and then the options are already static. There's nothing we need to change in the options, so meaning we're gonna have to copy this entire thing and put it inside our event listener. And then as this is static, now we're gonna have to change what is being passed. It can't be what every time, so we'll need to change this code into backticks so we can manipulate the string. After changing this, and then now we change the word that is inside. For us to be able to do that, we use the $, curly braces, and then our variable is word. So now whatever that is in the input is always gonna be passed to this API, and then this is not gonna be static, it's gonna change. Whatever is in word is always gonna be passed here. And then now we can be able to get a different response every time. So what I'm gonna do is save this, and then I'm gonna come here and say search for food, and then we click search. As you can see now, this word has changed to whatever was in the search box. So one part down, we can see the definition is the solution to all women's problem, which is technically correct. And then all we're gonna need is the definition and example. So we're gonna go to the first element, and then we're gonna take the definition and example, and then we're just gonna show it just below this paragraph text. So for us to be able to do that is we go to just here where they are consoling this thing, and then we see it was just a simple callback, but now we're gonna need more stuff. Then we're gonna put this braces, make it an entire function, and then take this, and then we expand this thing here. And then what we're gonna do now is go to the response. We're gonna say let term, that will be the outermost term, and then we go to response, we know it's a list, and then we want the first element. So now we have our first element there, and then we can start appending things to our h1s and h2s that we have here, the word display. First we'll want to display the word, so we're just gonna say word display dot inner html. You can use inner text, and then we're gonna set this to the words. Since it's the word that we search and we already have a variable that we called word, we're just gonna set this to word display. Let's see if this works. I'm just gonna type food search, then we have food here, and then we're going the right direction. Then we're gonna go to the meaning header. Now on the meaning header, we're just gonna put meaning, which is just an h3, and then it's gonna be followed by the actual meaning of the text. So we're just gonna take meaning header, same thing as that, and then we set it to, this is the header, it's gonna be meaning, nothing much fancy here, and then following by the text, meaning text. We go inside the first element, we're gonna take the definition, that is our meaning. So this is gonna be the same logic for even the example. We're just gonna duplicate this thing, and so I'm just gonna copy this, and then we just paste it here. And that should be it on our JavaScript. And then we have set all of these things. We have set the example text. If we go over to our HTML, you can see this is the paragraph, and then it's the example text, and this is the header. And then we're just setting the values here so that we show what's in the first. We're only taking the first element. So this will be it in our JavaScript. I'm not sure, we do not need to console this anymore. Just remove that, and then we save this, and then let's test if this thing works. Then we search food again, then we click search. There we go, we see the word was food, and then we have the meaning, which is the solution to all women's problem, and then we see here we have double meaning. I didn't change this needs to be example. Then you save this, and then we can search it again. Now we are good to go. So we have the basics of our app. Now let me just style this, and then we make it look properly, and then just like that we have our application. You can have the styling if you want. Just comment down below, and I'll give you the link to the source code. And now, okay guys, I'm done with my styling. You've already seen what the final application look like. This is my styling. In the HTML, I've added the class for this div to call it sections, so that when you come to the JavaScript, I can be able to query select, or I can get element by class name, and then I can change it to styled. So this is to being able to change those two divs, and then now we're gonna style them to have that blue border line, and then we can also do whatever that you would like to do. And then we know that the class list.add method does not work on a list of items. It wants a single item, hence I'm looking through two of the divs. And then I've also selected the main div, which you see that it is in blue color. It has a shadow box of blue. Let me just quickly show it. So this is the main div and I've given it a color. So guys, this will be it for this beginner project, and then please leave a comment down below if you like the link to the source code, and also please share your thoughts on this video. Have a good day. Goodbye.